So, Stewie,
Oh, good afternoon, brother Mo.
what's happening, man?
How are things in New Hampshire?
Same stuff, and let everybody know, the audience know, that those that might listen, it's unfiltered daily dose. Two bros shooting the shit about whatever's going on, and it
Yeah,
doesn't matter what it is. Today it's politics, obviously. Today's the election day, and we can have two different perspectives. I'm up here in New Hampshire, and Stu's down in Florida. So, as we know, Stu and I talked earlier, that the first in the nation was what I believe was going to be the case anyways. All six votes were 3-3, which is pretty amazing, you know. Six whole people, and half of them couldn't make a decision.
last election, I believe, up there in New Hampshire, it was at 5-2. It was on Biden's side. So I think to your point, no doubt this is going to be a really close election.
I think it's going to be close and contentious.
Yeah, well, it's always contentious when it's
Yeah.
actually, I can't think of any Republican president up until after Reagan that wasn't contentious, whether it was Bush's or whoever. But but to that point, I think when I look at I don't ever look at polling shit. It's like, to me, it's a waste of time because you really can't get what's going on, right? But they have this polling, and I should have wrote it down and I didn't. But they have this professional polling service, and then everybody's neck and neck right now. I mean, and you're like what time is it? It's 1 or 2 o'clock, and it's a third of the way through, and things are still tight.
Well, the funny thing is that as you know, I'm like I get the polls on Microsoft News, and I do them religiously. They amuse me. But I did one today, and it wasn't a small sample. 860,000 people voted, and the outcome was 46% were voting for Trump if they actually did, and 37 or 36% were voting for Harris. So that's a telltale sign. This isn't a small thing. When you listen to some of these pollsters, they go out and they poll 1,500 people, and then they got this plus and minus stuff. It could be off by 20% or negative or whatever. So it's very interesting. We're in New Hampshire, so we voted today. But I will tell you, we are in our ward, as they call them up here, where we are. It's kind of funny that you see, it was all older people. I don't know what you see. Well, you're in Florida, so I mean that's a given, right? But up here, like I said, we went to the polls, and we had Sam with us. That's our daughter. She's 27. She went with us, and she was probably one of the younger people there by a long shot. And it's like, so I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know how to take it as who's voting for who now.
Yeah, I think as well. They were polling people the other day or last week when we had early voting, and a lot of folks were coming out saying they might be for Harris, but they're not telling the truth. They're like, I'm afraid to say I voted for Trump. And that's the hard part about thinking we're in a democracy and you can't say who you voted for. So I think when you look at the polling numbers, I think on the Trump side they're low because people don't want to come out the door and say I voted for Trump. It's like wearing a MAGA hat or something, and you're not taken as a Republican, you're taken as a MAGA. I don't consider myself a MAGA. I'm a Republican. So I think that's the other issue.
Well, I think the Democrats, and I'm not knocking on every Democrat that's out there. I mean, I'm a centrist myself, but I tend to lean towards the right, not that far right, but to the right. But I think that the Democrats, since Hillary Clinton days, of referring to the MAGA group as criminals and whatnot, they kind of like demonized the Republican Party. And when they did that, they didn't just demonize those far right. They demonized basically anybody that says they're a Republican. Right? There's an interesting one that I guess it was I think it was Pennsylvania. The guy went in wearing a "Make America hat, Make America Great Again" hat, and one of the volunteers working the polls or working the voting counter decided to have a temper tantrum and told the man to take his hat off. You can't have that on in here. Get it out. And I guess that there are voting laws that stipulate you're not supposed to, supposedly not supposed to wear controversial stuff. I mean, not for nothing. You walk out, so as soon as you walk in the building, walk out of the building, there's enough controversial stuff all around you when you walk into the voting booth or voting area. But anyhow, I think that's the whole thing. It's like it become a. I think those that lean to the right have all been demonized, regardless of where your standing is.
And I found it interesting when I went to do my voting this morning. There were but there were very few people out, representing candidates. Like last time I went, that entire area was full of people. Oh, who you want to vote for? Do you want to hear about this person? Today there was nobody out there standing.
Oh, wow.
So I'm assuming that's something they probably tried to frown upon because of all the.
We went to vote this morning, and I will assure you that was not the case here.
Okay.
They were out all over the place. They were out there with the giant Trump flags. They were out there, rows of people saying vote for Harris. There was quite the contingency outside the building, but there was a lot of people. I think this election might even break a record. I think they're saying for the the early voters. I think they said the GOP turnout was pretty tremendous.
So let's just shift gears just a little bit. So we know, we talk about this all the time, how weak America is perceived over the last 3.5 years. So what do you see? It was interesting. I don't know if you read this, and I can't name the investment companies that were speaking to this. You know that the investment companies are planning for World War III, how to secure the finances.
Huh.
We have these large investment companies actually sitting in rooms talking about what's going to happen in World War III. And so as we look at where we're going, potentially a Harris presidency, how do you see world events unfolding? I know we talk about this all the time.
And we do, and the funny thing is too is that what I like to see myself as being I think I forward think a lot, and it's really hard to forward think because there are so many situations around the world right now that the current administration, they could say whatever they want about it. The current administration has allowed some of this stuff to foster into major issues that we had a strong, a strong president and flexed the muscles a little bit, could have maybe kept some of this stuff at bay. I don't know that for a fact. I mean, but the Russia-Ukraine thing, didn't go down until after Trump was gone. The Israelis and the Middle East issues taking place after Trump was gone. So I mean, this all speaks a lot for showing strength. America has to show strength. America doesn't show strength, and nobody's going to listen. We're now, I think, we're seen. Don't kind of think we're being seen as weak. Saber. We're the equivalent of saber rattling. You cross this line, you're in trouble. And they all laugh at it. I think they, anyways.
There's something funny because I posted that on my Facebook the other day, where when you talk about the difference between, say, Trump and Biden, well, first off, you can't take Biden seriously. You can't even put Trump says 2 sentences, I said a half a sentence. But, it's not a matter of knocking the guy. You honestly can't talk. But beyond that, one of the things that I really thought about, because I'm walking now again because I can't do anything else, but one of the things I was thinking about the other day is that we've totally lost diplomacy. We don't have it anymore. Neither Harris nor Biden have even reached out, have talking to Putin, have talking to, like, I mean, I know it's funny, North Korea, but all he wanted was somebody to give him a pat on the back and shake his hand. You know, but we do not have diplomacy anymore, and that's driving what we see now, I think.
Yeah. Well, didn't Netanyahu there? Did Biden meet with him when he came?
Nope, I think he did, but it was like a last minute thing. Or Harris did.
I'm not sure if Harris did either.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with them, or the problem with that administration is they don't want anything that's going to make them look anything like what could be conceived as the bad guy, and rather than address the situations, they're gonna bow to what they think their group of peeps want to hear or want to see. They don't want to see that Harris, particularly Harris, he wouldn't want to be seen shaking hands and being pals with him because of the situation over there in Gaza and the uprising, or the issues taking place, at the time the issues taking place with people protesting what was going on there. If she went and met with him, shook his hand, and did the usual thing, she'd be seen as a validating what's going on. So they're not about solving a problem. They're about playing political games. That's how I see them. You know.
So for me, I feel like, and they complained because Trump was over there and what Putin was buying and this and that. I mean, how much have we spent on foreign wars? I mean, I was trying to look it up the other day. Just Ukraine alone, I think it was $130 billion.
Yeah.
Israel upwards of around $60 billion. And who knows what else, right? You start adding that up. I'd rather Putin be paying the president, Putin giving the president $1 billion to walk away with a smile than all the money we're spending on wars. But let me do something. I want to do something. You know how they do in football? They say, who do you think's going to win? Or what do you think will happen for this game, for that game? So I have 3 or 4 scenarios, and I'm going to throw them out at you, and you tell me if you think it's going to happen, and when you think it's going to happen. So let's take the top one, Iran and Israel. So they've gone back and forth and bombed each other 4 times, I think. And this last time, Israel went into Iran. What is your expectation coming? We talked the other day, we thought they would do it the day before election. Well, it's election day, they haven't done anything yet. Do you think they're going to wait for the election to be over, or what do you think they're going to do?
You know what? It's a very, from either side of it, it's a very challenging scenario for both Israel and Iran. I mean, it's one thing, I really believe that they'll just do the tit and tat thing. All right, you bomb this, okay, I'm going to bomb that. And I just find it hard to fathom that either country would want full-blown war in the Middle East, because it would be a stupendous disaster for everybody, not just for those in the Middle East, for everybody, because obviously they're the largest oil producing area in the world. I don't know that. I don't believe they'll go to war.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but what do you think? Do you think they'll go to war?
Well, if it's tit to tat, right? They're already even.
Yep.
I think if Iran goes into Israel or bombs them again, I think there's going to be war. I think Israel is going to go in and this time go after nuclear oil. That's my feeling. And I don't think we're far off there. I think Israel is already prepared. I don't think there's going to be any planning that has to be done. I think they're already set to go, just waiting for Iran to do something. And I'm going to call it the next week.
Yeah, I'm going to say that if Iran does it, it's like I don't know if this is one of your things, but it's like North Korea deciding that they're going to launch the bomb, and they have to decide if they want to be obliterated or not. That surely is a big decision. Israel's a very powerful country, and for everything that is well known and not well known, but I do believe it's pretty well known that Israel is nuclear capable.
Yep.
So that I'm not so sure I'm not so sure where that one will go, Stu.
Okay, so you're tapping out on that one. Okay, so let's go to let's go to the next one that I think, again, they were talking years away. I'm thinking it's months away. China taking over Taiwan.
That's no matter how we cut this and how we want to saber rattle with China and China wants to saber rattle with us, our economies are so stinking intertwined that it's like, China has friends here, some friends there, we have friends here, we have friends there, but no two countries have the amount of, I don't believe there's any two countries in the world that have the amount of dependence on each other as China and the USA. I just don't see that. And I don't see China flushing that all down the toilet for a stinking little island out there in the middle of the Pacific or China Sea or wherever the hell it is. I mean, I don't know why they would do that. To me, it would be the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Maybe they'll just continue to use it as a hedge fund and keep everybody on their toes and keep everybody honest. That's my opinion. I don't know what yours is, but
I just said, so we're differing on there again. So I'm thinking we're going to be all out war on two fronts, and the reason, I mean, Taiwan is just it's kind of making China whoever you want to, either the president or the country, it's making them look weak, Taiwan, and I think that's why that's going to develop. Third one, which is right. This is much bigger, and I don't have any idea here. So whatever your opinion is, you tapped out on two. So whatever your opinion here is, I'll let you win that one because I don't have a clue. So we have Ukraine. You scoped it out a little bit. We have Russia. We have North Korea sending troops into Russia now, or into Ukraine through Russia. How does it unfold?
that if what's true is true, they sent 10,000 troops. Have you looked at the death scale or the amount of casualties the Russians have been the Ukrainians have inflicted on the Russians? 10,000 troops really is like a drop in the bucket. That's like if it keeps up, if that stayed what it's been, you're lucky if that's like 3 or 4 days.
Well, yeah, I mean, but we know more is coming. I mean, Europe's got an army 1 million strong. So, yeah, 10,000 just a drop in the bucket. And who knows how many they may have already keep sending, because they send them by train. And so, could be tens of thousands in the next month or two.
Well, there's a cry from NATO countries that it's time for NATO to step up its participation in one form or another. I have no idea what that means. I don't know whether or not they want to send military in, or they want to offer up the option to. Some countries have not allowed Ukraine to use the weapons that they have that they've inherited from everybody to their fullest advantage in bombing further inside of Russia. I mean, I think if they start doing that, that will change the Russian people's opinions of things, if they already haven't. There's a lot of dead soldiers. And that's Stu, you're calling up good ones. These are tough ones. These are tough ones to answer.
Remember the other day we were just talking when I was doing my walk. I had my headphones on. I told you I was listening. I asked you if you remember that song, Eve of Destruction.
Yep, I fully remember it.
You said it was 1965 or something that it came out. I don't remember the exact date. I think it was. I think that was done by the Animals, if I'm correct. No, it was. I don't know. You can look it up, but I don't remember.
It is. I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah. So.
Oh, it's actually the song was by Barry McGuire. I thought it was.
What happens when neuropathy takes over?
But anywho, it was by Barry McGuire.
Yep.
And I thought it was the Animals for some reason in my head.
That's how old you are.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, well,
Anyway, so it was like 1965 or 2 or whatever it was. And and when you listen to that song, it's interesting. I don't know if you've listened to it at all recently. And that's Eve of Destruction, in case you all didn't catch it. And
and you know, it is. You know what they say, Stu? History always repeats itself. There's just we don't. Humans just don't learn, so we repeat. The song is relevant then, and is relevant today. You know, and it is. Absolutely.
Same. I mean, you don't even really have to change the countries in the song. It's always about it's similar to where we are today. But I thought about that song as I was walking, and that's why I say, you know, we've been talking about Eve of Destruction since way back, right? And when we first bombed Japan, Hiroshima, you know, we have been talking about nuclear war ever since. I feel like we're at that. I feel like we are honestly on the eve of destruction. People laugh about that. I honestly feel that we are at that point.
Yeah. Well, you had 11,781,000 views in August of 2018. So I want to think that there's a lot of people with your point of view, because it's a song that, again, it's a song that's, I mean, if the people out there listen to the podcast, take a minute, listen to the song. It is again, it's relevant then and it's relevant today. The lyrics to the song are spot on. But anyways, what was your other one that you had?
Well,
we're not getting anywhere with the first three.
So I don't know if you have looked at it or seen it, but of course Russia had their big meeting. You know, like we have our NATO meeting. They had their.
Yeah, I saw. I did see that.
And you see that who's actually backing Russia. Now we're looking at India, Pakistan. So those are two nuclear armed countries.
Yep.
You know, and they used to be at war. What are you thinking when you start looking at the New World Order, as we have always called it? You know, I feel like the United States is not relevant anymore. And you start looking at this new world order that Russia's putting together, and really it's China, right? Because Russia really doesn't have, other than nuclear weapons, Russia really doesn't, I think, to be a leader. You know?
If Russia didn't have their nuclear capabilities, they would be being kind of like a upscale third world country, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I'm not dissing on Russia. I don't know anything. Don't know anything about Russia really. I've never really looked it up. Never really interested me. But the fact they have nuclear weapons gives them that right to be in that little inner circle that they probably shouldn't even be in, but they are. China's pulling the strings right now on that side of the planet. I don't think we're totally out of it, but I think that I think that I don't know if you want to compare what they're doing. Like if you talk about like World War II, they had the Axis powers, you know, which were Japanese, the Italians, Germany. So I mean, I think you have NATO, and I don't think what they're doing is the same as what NATO is. It's not like if you get attacked and we drop everything and we come fight with you. I'm not sure that India is going to be willing to do that, or several of the other countries that participating. Some of them I believe in South America. I don't remember which ones. I have to look it up, but several South American countries, or at least one I'm sure of, are going to say, yeah, that's what I'm going to do too. I think this is what they want to do, and what they've been trying to do for a long time is they want to take, and they don't want the dollar to be the currency of choice. They want that gone. And I'm not sure what they're going to replace it. I don't think they're not going to replace it with the ruble, because that's worthless right now. And the only thing that I could think that they could do anything with is whatever you call the Chinese currency. I'm not even sure what it is. And Japanese is yen, so I'm not sure what China's is. Huh?
The yen.
Is it that Chinese or that's Japanese, isn't it?
That's Chinese. I'm pretty sure that's Chinese. But anyways, either way, yeah.
I don't know. It's a Chinese currency. Huh?
You have to look it up, but yeah, the Chinese.
Chinese. Well, hey, that's what we got a computer next to. What they call it anyways. What's it called? It's called the yen, but it's YUAN. I'm not sure how you say it. And I think the Japanese is referred to as the yen, YEN. So I don't know. So.
To your point, I think they would like a different global monetary system. And you're right, they're building that. They have Africa. But when I look at it, and you're right, I don't think certain countries are going to drop what they're doing and go to war for anybody or even send weapons. But when you start looking at those countries aligning with Russia, and you're not talking small countries, you're talking some of one of those countries makes up the entire European system, and so,
oh, yeah.
And so when we start looking at who's taking what and who's joining who, I feel like we're on the outs. That's just my opinion. I don't.
Well, I will concur with you with that. When you look at Europe as a whole, and discount any parts of Russia that are considered Europe, Europe is small.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure exactly how it's made up, but I think a lot of Europe can be plunked right into New England. So the only advantage that the Europeans had or had at one time was obviously the Germans are more than capable of waging war. They did it twice in a row. I don't know if they still have that same wherewithal that they had at one time. But you're right. I mean, you look at China, Russia, you look at North Korea. North Korea is the largest military in the world.
Yep.
That's why, a lot of people, I didn't realize that, and I was reading it the other day, but they're the largest military, well, I'll say the most powerful military. They're the largest military in the world. It's like you said, 10,000, they decide to send 1 million. They can send 1 million troops to Russia without any second thoughts. So,
well, everybody's a soldier in North Korea.
yeah, you're right, and they're at their the beckoning call of their so-called leader there, as Donald Trump calls him, Rocket Man. So, but unfortunately for us, and what you said back, Glenn, 2 weeks ago, and I agree with you, is that we have never followed through with any of the things regarding. When we told them, hey, don't do this, you're going to get this, or don't do that, you're going to get that. With the nuclear capability, we've simply allowed it to happen. We allowed it to happen in Iran. Now we're allowing it to happen in North Korea. I mean, they're lying. We had our military show there recently, and they launched a ballistic missile into the Sea of China in Japan. And so I don't think any of the things that we're saying make a difference to anybody.
Nope.
We're not going to do anything.
Yep. And I think that's been proven now. To your point, letting Iran get nuclear capabilities, letting North Korea get nuclear capabilities, and yet we have countries that want them that are on our side,
yep.
Like North Korea, like Japan, and we say no to everybody. Yet we let our enemies win all the time. I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you know what? It's like Ukraine. If the Ukraine had kept
yep.
Their nuclear capabilities, Russia would have never done what they did.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than being on equal footing to keep everything, keep it all above board. And they don't have they don't have nothing now. Russia has it all. Yep. Russia took it all when they left. I don't know. Do you have a fourth one? What was your fourth? Was that the fourth one?
That was the fourth one, but that one was kind of like, okay, that's not like a war topic, but it could be a war topic, I guess, because certainly China's not stopping North Korea sending troops, and supposedly China has oversight of North Korea to a large degree. All of North Korea's economy is created through China. So if he's not stopping it, then to me it's like, okay, maybe going to war, but then what's going on?
You got to remember that Chinese benefit from North Korea because, I mean, obviously they share a border, and they benefit from labor. North Koreans and I don't have a clue how many thousands of people go there to work, and of those people that go there to work, how much of the money do they actually get to keep? North Korea, I'm questioning that they get to keep pennies on the dollar, and most of the rest of it goes to the government for one form or another. I mean, they got to support that ginormous military operation they have going on there, and building missiles and all that stuff doesn't come cheap. You know, they still got to, and as far as nuclear capabilities go, who knows what the Russians will do?
Yeah.
Who knows what the Russians may give them what they need?
Yep.
They got the ballistic missiles,
Yep.
and so.
And nobody's stopping anything. So it's like we know the troops are going. We know that weapons are being trained over by train to Russia, and nobody does. I guess you would have to bomb it on somebody else's territory. Maybe that would probably be.
Whoever becomes president, which I hope, I'll be frank with you, and I definitely don't want any of our supposed listeners thinking that we're neither one of us are extremists. We're both centrist, and we both tend to vote Republican. But I got to tell you something: 4 more years of the crap that we've had, the weakness, the president that couldn't walk up the stairs going into an airplane, can't get on stage and even know where the hell he is, or worse yet, crap his freaking pants. I mean, what the hell? That's the whole freaking thing. Is, I mean, it's.
That's not fake news. He crapped his pants.
Huh?
Are you saying fake news? He crapped his pants?
No, he crapped his pants. There's no fake news there. He crapped his pants. That's almost like a no fake news there. I think he crapped his. I think God only knows what else he's done. I wouldn't get into anything else because then people will start saying, "Hey, whoa, what kind of a talk show is this?" But I think, you know what? Maybe we should move on. You know, we beat this one up today. The election's going on. The first in the nation says that we're going to have President Trump or President Kamala and Vice President Trump or Vice President Kamala, because it feels like it's heading in that direction.
So let's switch gears. So I don't want to, we don't have a lot of time left, so we can spin some football if you want, because that's our favorite sport.
That's our favorite sport.
So,
well, the Yankees lost. Hold it. Wait. I'm not a baseball fan, but I love when the Yankees lose.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the fact that they were swept. They weren't quite swept, but you know what? By Yankees standings, winning one game's almost swept in the World Series. And that, you know what? Even though, did you hear that Bob Kraft stuck a knife right into the Yankees' hearts? He let the Dodgers, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Dodgers, is that who won? The Dodgers. Sorry, guys, I'm not a baseball fan. But anyways, the Dodgers, he let them use his jet to go back home.
Oh, really? They didn't have their own?
No, apparently not. Well, how many people, how many owners or whatever not own their own jets? And I think he has, 2 of them?
Yeah, I think there's plenty, yeah. But that's good to hear, too, I guess. But, yeah, so the big talk, and I'm not just saying this because I've read it a lot of places, that they're trying to get Jerry Jones, of course, to fire McCarthy because that shit's done for Dallas this year. And Bill Belichick, is at the top of the list, and they're saying to him, if he doesn't bring Belichick in now to see what the team is this year, to make changes for next year, he's done with this Super Bowl run. You won't see Jerry Jones in his lifetime see a Super Bowl.
Well, it's pretty bad when you have this team, you gave your quarterback $1 gazillion. They gave, I'm not sure who the other players, I can't remember what his name is, gave him a ginormous contract as well. On his 82nd birthday, they got blown out at home. I can't remember who they played, but they got blown out at home on his 82nd birthday. And he's 82 years old, and if he's going to do something, he better figure out how he's going to do it really quick, because I'm not even sure Belichick would even want it. I mean, I'm going to be fair here, McCarthy, I don't know if it's not all on McCarthy.
Yeah.
I mean, Dak Prescott hasn't shown any. He's making a lot of money, but he hasn't shown anything. I never thought he think that's spectacular.
Now he's out three weeks. So
Huh?
now he's out 3 weeks.
Is he out 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew. They said the injury wasn't as bad as it was, so I wasn't sure if he was going to be out or not. So you got it up there? You got it?
no, I'm telling you.
Dak Prescott.
3 weeks. So now, what are you going to do?
That like will end the end. That'll end. That's this. That's it for them then. They're done.
Well, I don't know. That backup quarterback they got from San Francisco, and damn, I can't think of his name. That's terrible. But that backup quarterback, that San Francisco.
He's eligible to return on December 9th. So what's he going to miss? Do they have a bye coming up?
Yeah, then they have one bye too.
Yeah, that means he's going to miss at least 2 games. Yeah. And if they lose 2 more, I think they're pretty close to done anyways.
They're done. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the NFC, what is it, the West? The West with Minnesota, Green Bay. There's not a lot of you're going to get most of your wild cards are going to come from almost like one division. I think on both sides, AFC and NFC. Yeah. The only ones that are going to get in there otherwise are going to be the division winners.
Yeah. Right.
If you don't win the division, you're out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like the Patriots winning the division.
So I think before the year's up, we're going to probably see a few more coaches go. It's just a matter of who grabs Belichick first.
I look at it like this. I think I saw this morning. I think I saw 6 head coaches are doomed.
Yeah.
And you know what, Stuart? That's not the end of the season yet, and they've already fired 2.
Yep.
2 have already been let go. They have what? The Jets and the Saints both fired their head coaches, and we're like just a little beyond midseason, and that's not even the end of the season. They said there's 6, at least 6. It could be more. Belichick have to pick up his jobs, any job he wants.
Well,
if he even wants to coach.
Yeah, but he wants to go to a team that's Super Bowl ready, just needs the tweaking. He doesn't want to go to a rebuild. I think when you start looking at the Giants, I feel like they'll let that guy go at the end of the year. When you start Dable, or when you start looking at some of the clubs that are, Giants, Jacksonville, Dallas, I think are his.
I'm not sure. The Giants, they don't have their quarterback is.
Yeah. Oh,
that's not going to be Bill's. That's not going to be Bill's pick. He's going to want to go there with a quarterback that he can do something with. That's guy nobody's. I mean, maybe it's the coaching. I just don't see that he's done anything spectacular. I don't know about Lawrence. I mean, Jacksonville is. I mean, I don't know what his gig is. Yeah. And Dak Prescott he just hasn't been anything that spectacular. Tell you, we've already talked about this earlier. The Lions are the team.
Yep.
And I'm good. I have no Patriots to root for this year, so I think I'm gonna have to pick. I'm gonna be a Lions rooter for her.
You could be a Bills fan. I mean, they're obviously going to win the division, and
nah, I think I'm gonna root for the Lions.
That saved Sean McDermott's job, which I called at the beginning of the year he'd be done, but they pulled it out. They pulled it out, their heads out of their butts, and now they're going to be division winners. And
well, there are, I think, what are they? Maybe 1 or 2 games out from just locking the division already. Yep. I mean, there's nobody.
Jets
are what? 3 wins? 3 wins?
Yeah, 2 in a row though.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I guess. Jets win 2 in a row?
Yeah.
No, they only won 1.
That's 2 in a row.
No, well, that's too bad. But I will say this much for Aaron Rodgers. I do agree with his statement. I didn't read the whole thing, because I'm terrible about doing that. But he did come out and say, and I can't remember it, so I can't quote it exactly, but to the extent that the celebrities all coming forward and announcing their choice for president is nothing but them speaking on behalf of China. You have to go look it up. I didn't read the article. Anybody listening to this crap should say, okay, let's see what Moe said and go look it up, because definitely don't take what I said for heart. But I read the headlines, and usually I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. That's for you.
Yeah.
And so, but I'd be, it's interesting to go look and see what he had to say. But I do agree with that. Celebrities should keep it.
I know we haven't got a lot of time left before we shut down here, but You bring up a really good point. I forgot to mention. I didn't write it down here, but you bring up a really good point. Did you notice this? Did you notice the last like 3 months how celebrity endorsements for Harris didn't come all at once? They were sprinkled in week after week after week after week,
Yeah.
and even
Brainwash.
like so it's like, oh, every day somebody else, and then so it didn't like come out 6 months ago or whatever. Just all of a sudden out of the clear blue, the endorsements are coming, and then yesterday was Dick Van Dyke, which was sad because I really like Dick Van Dyke. But he's 90 years old. I guess he doesn't know any better, or whatever old he is. But
He's like Kamala Harris, he's doing what he's told.
yeah, I know. But I just find it interesting that
I think that I think was it Cheney's daughter's the one that kicked that off. I think, didn't she? When she said, Dick Cheney's daughter, whatever her name is, there. She said that she was. Didn't she kind of kick the "I'm voting for Harris" thing off? I'm a Republican, but I'm voting for Harris, and it's been like a landslide. But I will give Belichick and Brady credit. They didn't come out and formally say they were going to vote for Trump, but they did come out and say they thought that the media is giving him totally unfair coverage. That there's not everything that could possibly be negative is being negative said about him, and on the flip side, nothing being negative for the most part being said. Oh, that's true. What do you hear negative about Kamala Harris?
Yeah, nothing. You read
nothing.
You read the news. It's all anything he says.
But yeah.
So I'm going to run my last few questions by you.
Go ahead.
Tonight, when it's over, theoretically, who wins?
It's so hard. I'm gonna go for. I think Donald Trump's gonna win.
Okay. I don't believe that, but I'll go with it.
Well, Stu, it's 50-50.
Easy. Okay. Who is going to take the Senate?
Boy, that's a hard one. I wish you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I follow it enough.
Can't look it up.
I have to look it up, and I have to look at it, and maybe it's a question I can answer the next time we come on. I really don't know. I think the Republicans are being demonized, and I think you know what? To be honest with you, I think that the Republicans that have done what they've done by voting for Harris and publicly announcing it may have done irreparable damage to the Republican Party.
So
a lot of people are just going to say, "Huh?"
You think the Senate's going to stay Democrat and probably gain seats?
I think they're going to stay Democrat. I think it's going to stay Democrat. I think the Republicans are going to lose seats.
I think so. We're full agreement there. I think the Senate is going to lose some and pick up extras. So it could be 6 or 7 more for the majority.
Well, like I said, the sad thing is when the Republicans all came out saying Republicans for Harris, that sent a really, really bad message to the constituents to why am I voting Republican if you can't stand by your party, even if you know what, I'm going to say what I said to Brenda earlier. I said, you know what, if the Democrats only had a piece of shit, all right, to vote for or to be their nomination, they would rally around that piece of shit and vote for it. All right, the Republicans, on the other hand, the Democrats laugh all the way to the bank. That's my closing comment.
So the House, of course, we have a fairly slim majority. You think that's going to flip? You think that's going to flip to Democrats?
Like I said, I think the Republicans have done. Like I said, I think they've done damage. They've done damage. And there's always going to be the states that are going to stand by and vote their party. But in case you look at the map, it's not looking like a lot of red anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, well, there's our time is up. We definitely will have to catch up later and talk about what we're seeing. Maybe it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll be sleeping.
Yeah, I think that we need to follow up and let people see that there are other people that like you and me that are going to voice our opinions. And we're not going to say that we're going to be hard right or anything like that, or hard left for that matter. But we're going to voice our opinions, and we're going to say what we see and what people should see. That's what this should be all about.
Yep.
Is people should open their eyes and see what's going on in our world. That's the problem, Stu. Do you kind of agree with that?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so I am going to stop our recording, and then you want to hang out a few minutes and chit chat?
Yeah.
Please do.
You can. Yep, go ahead.
So, thanks everybody. If you are going to ever listen to this, thank you.